Our campaign is featuring the English Skills Learning Center, or as we say for short, ESLC. They're a non-profit organization that offers classes to those needing help with better understanding English. Although we intend to target students, the classes are free to anyone. This campaign is really about encouraging students at Salt Lake Community College who could benefit from ESLC's classes to just give it a try. Many students, especially those with language barriers, struggle in college. With international students having one of the largest language barriers, and the US having over 1 million of them already, which is increasing, we have to send our focus to them. That is a lot of students, and in fact, it is nearly 5% of all students enrolled in higher level education. Due to personal experience from one team member, we have become aware of the challenges international students face each day in college, and it is why we would like to focus our attention on helping international students. About 1% of all Salt Lake Community College students enrolled for the 2017-2018 year are registered as non-residential students, which might not sound like much, but that means that over 600 students are potentially international. International students are likely to have learned English as a second language, which is a good reason to attend ESLC classes and would explain why those particular students struggle. Other groups of people fit in this category as well, like students that grew up in a home that spoke another language like Spanish, for example, which is extremely common, but international students happen to be the largest group in colleges. Currently, less than 1,500 students attend ESLC's classes, but there could easily be a lot more if people were aware, especially since there are multiple colleges and high schools around the area like the U. Some of the ESLC students aren't even students at all. They just take the classes for themselves. All of the different sources of students just go to show how little of them likely come from Salt Lake Community College. From Salt Lake Community College alone, I'm positive we could increase the attendance substantially. Our main purpose for this campaign is to make students aware of the ESLC classes, because if they don't know about them, then they won't even see them as an option. Once students are made aware, then those who need help will be more likely to go, whereas before they would have never even thought about the ESLC. Another benefit associated with ESLC is that the classes are completely free, so why not try it? Even if Salt Lake Community College students decide not to follow up after receiving our messages, we'd still like them to have some key ideas to take away from the messages. One of our main ideas is that we would like students to understand that help is out there and it's easier to get than you might think. All students need to do to get help is know about the different classes at ESLC and to go to them. Another key idea that is important to understand is that the classes are absolutely free. All students have to worry about is setting aside the time to go to the classes because money is not a factor. And the final idea is that ESLC classes will make college classes easier. A very simple assignment can turn into a nightmare if the student cannot understand the instructions and requirements, not to mention the fact that assignments are rarely simple. If students that fully understand English struggle with an assignment, then it can only be worse for international students. The original plan for the implementation of our campaign was to first contact ESLC through their website and schedule a meeting with one of their representatives. We plan to ask them a few questions to really validate and broaden our statistics as well as inform us about what ESLC has to offer. In fact, we made a list of those questions in preparation of the meeting. This is a list of a few of the questions we plan to ask them. First, how many students attend ESLC? We need to know the number so we could compare it to the number of international students to understand how many people we could potentially influence. Our second question is, can we use your logo? We wanted permission to put the logo on our media channels so that students could easily see which ESLC we're talking about and to make them believe that our advertisements are real. No logo or a fake logo is a sign that something is fake. Our third question is, do students improve? This is kind of a rhetorical question, but it's still one that students will ponder on. People want to know if it actually works. After the meeting, we weren't quite yet going to be done with the ESLC. We also planned to volunteer with them or at least participate in one of their classes just to see what it was like firsthand. We then planned to interview one of their students and ask them about their story with ESLC, why they attend, and how it has affected them. Since none of us have actually ever attended one of the classes, we thought it would be nice to know from someone who has a lot of experience with them. This information will be really valuable to us as we attempt to represent ESLC with our media channels. We planned for several different channels of communication in order to reach the Salt Lake Community College students. Our first idea was to make a bookmark that would be handed out in the Marcosian Library on campus to anyone that walked in. This bookmark would contain information on ESLC, including location, hours, and links to their website and Facebook, as well as a persuasive message to convince the student to look further into ESLC classes. Another idea we had was to make a poster and hang it in the library as well. This is a picture of their poster, and we plan to make something similar. We plan for the poster to contain basic information like location, hours, the website, and Facebook, but this time, instead of a message, just a picture of the center. We knew students would not stick around to read a poster, but they may have time to read a bookmark. We chose to place these in the library for a good reason too. When students are struggling, they oftentimes come to the library either for help or just to study, so we planned to place our channels there in anticipation for a high traffic of international students. We wanted a location with the most international students and considered multiple locations like the Student Center, but because the library is a place mostly for studying, we thought it would be better. When it came time to follow through with these plans, we ran into a few problems that ended up changing everything. We started with contacting ESLC through their website. A response took much longer than we expected, but sure enough, it finally came through the following week. At first we were confused as to why it took so long, but quickly realized that after a search of the organization, that they were only open 2 days a week, Tuesday and Wednesday, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This was actually really bad news for all of us and the project itself. None of us had those hours on those days of the week free at all due to work and school, so that means a meeting was not going to be possible and neither was attending a class. At this point, we considered switching to a different organization and starting a new project. Participating with them was going to be a crucial part of the preparation of the campaign, but we chose to stick with them. We had to form a new plan. Instead of meeting with them, asking them questions in a formal interview, we decided that we would simply email them the list of questions, and those answered would suffice. We also had to give up on attending a class and interviewing a student. We didn't like these changes, but they were necessary in order for us to continue supporting ESLC. Our first channel that we created was the bookmark. We completed it mostly as planned by including the logo, location, and some persuasive information. On the front at the top you can see the ESLC logo, and down below it asks, "Does this not make sense?" referring to the words in whatever the student is reading in 3 different languages, English, Spanish, and French. If their answer to this question is yes, then they will most likely further inspect the bookmark. On the back side, in the same location, there is another logo, and down below is a line that states, "Come join the English Skills Learning Center to learn and practice reading, writing, and speaking." This is to persuade them to look more into the ESLC and possibly go to the listed address. Our second channel that we created was the poster. In the background, there is a picture of a student studying at ESLC that we got from their Facebook, which is our third channel. In the top left, you can see the ESLC logo, and below that is a quick statement informing readers that ESLC is free and telling them to come attend. In the bottom left is the location and hours, and in the bottom right is a quick link to their Facebook. Our third channel is the ESLC Facebook. Most of their information is actually posted on their Facebook, which is surprising seeing as they have a dedicated website. In order to use this channel, we simply promoted their Facebook through our other channels. The more followers they gain, the more likely they are to gain students. And that wraps up our project. Have a final look at our channels and communication plan.